Coming up, we bring you inside the former Phi Delta house to see how its new residents are living out their spirituality.
And coming up, the LSU Tigers are in the top 10, but find out why that may be in jeopardy as they take on Texas A&M this weekend.
All this and more, Newsbeat starts right now. Hi everyone, and welcome to the last Newsbeat of the semester. I'm Larissa Bonaquisti.
And I'm Trey Cuvion. Thanks for joining us. Some sad news out of Baton Rouge this morning. A man is dead after he was shot at an apartment complex on Mark Ann Drive. BRPD Sergeant Don Capola says preliminary info suggests the victim was shot in the arm. The victim's name has not been released.
Well, the LSU population is constantly growing, and now so is the campus's commitment to supporting its students. LSU's Office of Multicultural Affairs hosts one of the few safe space training programs in Louisiana, and participation has steadily increased. Tiger TV's Courtney Brown has more.
The Safe Space Training Program tackles difficult conversations like sexual orientation, gender, and sexual identity, a discussion that isn't normally done out in the open.
The safe space training is really important because we're not getting this type of information really anywhere else.
This semester, the group Safe Space Training session was held in the African American Culture Center with at least 20 participants sitting in the 4-hour program to become certified. Wesley Heath is the Assistant Director at the Office of Multicultural Affairs, and he believes the training helps break barriers to these difficult conversations.
How to have difficult conversations with LGBTQ students in times of crisis and need, and how to engage those students, questions to ask, questions not to ask.
The Safe Space program also debunks some of the stereotypes associated with the LGBTQ+ community, like how certain sexualities can be cured.
Sending her to therapy, of course, to be cured.
Or that homosexuality is a lifestyle.
A life that doesn't have quite as much value, or a life that's pretending to be another life, right?
Heath's goal is to expand to other campuses and to create a team that will provide the training to them.
In 3 years' time, I would really love to see all of LSU campuses having a safe space training team to be able to keep trainings up to date and to do trainings across their campus.
Reporting from Tiger TV, I'm Courtney Brown.
Over the last 3 years, the Safe Space training participation has grown from 50 to 250. It has also expanded to LSU's campus in Shreveport, and the one in Eunice is next. If you are interested in becoming certified in the Safe Space training program, you can email them at lgbtqproject@lsu.edu. Well, 1 year ago, LSU lost one of its own due to a tragic hazing incident.
Hunter Lovell is in studio to tell us how the location of this tragedy is now being used for spiritual purposes. Hunter?
From a place of tragedy 1 year ago to a beacon of light today, 11 Christ the King members are living out their faith life while carrying on Max Gruber's legacy. Prayer and community play vital roles in the formation of nearly a dozen Christ the King members now living in the former Phi Delta Theta fraternity house.
The desire here is to ask questions about our lives that might provoke us and help us to aim for greatness.
CTK campus minister and house director Adam Truthman says the house became available after Phi Delta was removed from campus following the death of freshman Max Gruber last fall. He says doors opened as he and CTK pastor Andrew Merrick prayed about a home for students to live in community. Now 3 months into the project, Gruber's memory remains close to their hearts.
We pray often for Max. We did not seize an opportunity that was presented as a result of Max's passing. These intentions to have a house and a community existed beforehand.
And in keeping Gruber's spirit alive, look to the building's namesake, Karol Wojtyła, better known as Pope John Paul II, for guidance. Accounting and entrepreneurial senior Daniel Ellender says living in the JP2 house has helped him dive into his faith life through prayer and journaling.
It's been a great environment for me personally, just to develop personally as a man, to be surrounded by people who support me in my endeavors.
Ellender says he and other residents have also lent a hand to improve the LSU community. He's specifically taken an intentional approach to Greek life.
Some of these fraternities and sororities have a lot of friends who are in leadership positions. real close to them and are able to connect with them on a real level as well.
The students also get together one night a week for a family meal where they catch up and share about their lives. For Truffant, he wants to continue to make improvements and tweak the overall vision of the house.
The goal of this house isn't merely to provide a place for guys to sleep and rest, but truly to examine the value of our words, our lives, our actions, and to see what we can do to surrender that to God's will so that He can truly help make us great.
Truffant says that the JP2 experiment has been a positive experience so far, that the students are very happy. Reporting for Tiger TV News, I'm Luncher Lovell.
Thanks, Hunter. One of LSU's most iconic buildings is undergoing a serious facelift. It's a project that the university says is a long time coming. Towering over Louisiana State University and its stately oak trees stands a nearly century-old clock tower.
It's one of our most iconic, if not the most iconic building on the LSU campus.
Cutting through the blue sky at 175 feet tall, few and far have braved the 176 steps to the top. But for those who have, well, view makes all that climbing worth it.
I got vertigo right now.
So I'm here at the top of Memorial Tower, the highest point on LSU's campus, and as you can see from looking out over the distance, you can see the entire campus extending to the Mississippi River. Built in 1923, the outside of Memorial Tower has never been restored. That includes the inside as well.
It's sort of like restoring that 57 Chevy.
But thanks to private donations and funds provided by the state, the whole tower, from head to toe, inside and out, is getting some much-needed work.
And we're doing a demo on the interior already, and then we're making some samples on the outside of the building where we're fixing all the cracks and stuff like that. What they'll first start doing is pressure washing from the top down, cleaning the building.
Once it's complete, the tower, originally built in honor of LSU students that fought during World War I, will be a military museum dedicated to all LSU students who have served our country. The total cost of the project, around $6.8 million. It's expected to be complete sometime in the summer of 2020.
Well, salads are off the menu for Thanksgiving this year. The CDC is now urging Americans to avoid eating romaine lettuce due to an E. coli outbreak. 32 people spanning across 11 states have been infected with E. coli and 13 have been hospitalized. Another 18 people in Canada have fallen ill with the same strain of E. coli. The CDC is advising people to throw away any romaine lettuce at home. Additionally, retailers and restaurants are being advised to stop serving it. All types and brands of romaine lettuce are suspect because no common grower, supplier, distributor, or source company has been identified by the CDC. Coming up, the Tigers look to continue their hot streak in Orlando, but find out why Coach Wade is worried about his undefeated squad.
And LSU is going head-to-head against Texas A&M, but find out why the Tigers may be in for a tough fight in College Station.
All that and more. Newsbeat will be back right after this.
If we don't play at a higher level than we've been playing, it's going to be lights out here pretty quick.
The LSU basketball team had a phenomenal start to their 2018 campaign. They're 4-0 this week, and they moved up to the number 19 in the AP poll. But they have yet to be tested outside of the PMAC. Could be an issue because they will be away from home for the next few games. The Tigers are headed to Orlando, Florida to compete in the Advocare Invitational. They'll take on Charleston on Thanksgiving Day, so I guess that's something else to be thankful for, right? And while the Tigers are on a roll, Coach Will Wade is not overlooking this Charleston squad.
If we go to Orlando and play like we've been playing, it's not going to be a good trip. Being at home has covered up some things. It's going to take everything we got to beat Charleston, so we're putting all our time the next 3 days into Charleston.
That game's going to tip off at 6 p.m. Back on the field, the Tigers are going to face off against Texas A&M this Saturday, hoping to secure a 10-win season. With a 10th win, LSU would have their first 10-win season since 2013. The matchup against the Aggies will obviously come down to the running game, as both LSU and Texas A&M average upwards of 170 rushing yards, and even though the Tigers come into the game ranked in the top 10, they will enter Kyle Field as the underdogs. The Aggies are 2.5-point favorites according to ESPN. However, Coach O and the Tigers don't mind that. The Tigers and the Aggies square off at 6:30 p.m., and LSU hasn't lost to Texas A&M since 1995. Reporting for Tiger TV Sports, I'm Zach Nunez.
All right, well, still to come, Thanksgiving is just a few days away.
But some things are more appreciated than others. Find out what when we come back.
Well, everyone is grateful for something, but I know we have a few things we're grateful for that might not apply to everyone. You know, I don't know about you, Trey, but I'm kind of grateful for the fact I can talk to puppets. It just is a little weird when they start talking back.
Yeah, that's a little strange. I'm grateful for my parents, for my friends, and for my dogs that are back home right now, actually. So.
And Bella here, she's not exactly grateful for these PJs, but I get to take cute pictures of her in them.
Well, I know we're both grateful for Tiger TV, the opportunities that we've had here, and our fantastic new website, tigertv.tv.
Well, that's going to be it for tonight. Thank you guys so much for joining us, and have a great Thanksgiving, Tigers.
Good night, Tigers.